Let's take a look at today's headlines. UK vacation. Governor Moino flags a fourth cohort of Entrepreneurship Accelerator program. Plus, UN Commission of Inquiry says Israel commits genocide in Gaza. We'll bring you details of these stories and more in just a moment. Many thanks for staying tuned. First in the news this morning is that President Bola Tinubu will return to Nigeria today after a vacation in France and the United Kingdom. This was contained in a statement issued by presidential spokesperson Bayo Onanuga, who noted that the president would resume his official duties upon his return. Recall that the president departed for France on September 4th, 2025 to spend part of his annual holiday dividing the period between France and the United Kingdom. According to the statement, President Tinubu held a private luncheon with his French counterpart, President Emmanuel Macron, where both leaders reviewed key areas of cooperation between Nigeria and France, agreeing to deepen partnership for mutual prosperity and global stability. In the meantime, the presidency has dismissed recent criticism by former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, insisting that Nigeria is making steady economic progress under President Bola Tinubu. A statement released by the Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, described Atiku's remarks, which likened Nigeria's current situation to revolutionary France and Russia, as misleading and out of touch with reality. Citing data from the National Bureau of Statistics, Citing data from the National Bureau of Statistics (NBS), the presidency noted that headline inflation had declined for the fifth consecutive month as of August, while the country posted a record trade surplus with non-oil exports accounting for 48% of the trade balance against crude oil's 52%. The statement further disclosed that Nigeria's foreign exchange reserves has risen to nearly $42 billion compared to $32 billion when President Tinubu took office adding that the government has cleared over $7 billion in arrears, including $800 million owed to international airlines. On electoral matters, the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has said that 4.45 million Nigerians have registered online in the past 4 weeks of the ongoing Continuous Voters Registration (CVR). The Commission said that of the figure, about 509,929 have concluded their in-person registration. The INEC National Commissioner and Chairman of the Information and Voter Education Committee, Sam Olumekong, gave the figures in a statement. The National Commissioner added that the CVR has been suspended in Anambra State well until after the November 11th governorship election. He said INEC had also suspended online pre-registration in the Federal Capital Territory (FCT) to allow for ward registration in the territory ahead of the area council elections scheduled for February. Away from that, the Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities (SANU) and the Non-Academic Staff Union of Educational and Associated Institutions (NASU) has given the federal government a 7-day strike notice over unresolved issues affecting non-academic staffs in universities. The two unions, in a letter, frowned at what they termed unjust disbursement of earned allowances to university staff, the non-payment of outstanding allowances, and other unresolved issues. The letter, signed by the President of SANU, Mohammed Ibrahim, and General Secretary of NASU, Peters Adeyemi, reminded the Minister of Education, Tunji Alausu, of a June 18, 2025 letter from the Joint Action Committee of NASU and SANU. The letter emphasized the urgent need for intervention in outstanding labor matters affecting their members. The unions maintained they were compelled to serve a formal notice of 7 days effective from yesterday for the federal government to address their agitations, failing which members would embark on a series of legitimate industrial actions, including strikes, to press home their demands. In a separate development, Socioeconomic Right and Accountability Project (SERAP) has urged President Bola Tinubu to direct the Minister of Interior Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo and the Comptroller General of the Nigerian Immigration Service (NIS) Kemi Nadab to immediately reverse the recent hike in international fees. SERAP described as arbitrarily, unlawful, unjustified and excess passport fees of between 100,000 naira and 200,000 naira. Recall that the NIS last week announced that from September 1, 2025, applications made within Nigeria will attract new fees of 100,000 naira for the 32-page, 5-year validity passport and 200,000 naira for the 64-page, 10-year validity passport. The organization noted that the unreasonable price increase came barely a year after a similar increase on September 1, 2024. Back here, Akwa Ibom State Governor Pastor Moino has inaugurated the 4th cohort of the Entrepreneurship Accelerator Program (EAP) as part of his administration's commitment to nurturing new business leaders and entrepreneurial development through the Arise agenda. Speaking at the flag-off ceremony at the Ibom-led complex in Uyo, the state capital, Governor urged participants to approach a 10-week training with discipline, passion and commitment. He disclosed that government would provide each trainee with a sum of 500,000 naira grant as a foundation for their business journey and urged them to deploy the funds wisely. He urged the beneficiaries to take their destinies in their hands, cognizance of the fact that it is not the amount that matters, but the passion to succeed. Earlier in his opening remarks, Ime Uwa, Senior Special Assistant to the Governor on Entrepreneurial Development and Director General of IBOM-led, disclosed that the program has trained 1,200 entrepreneurs to date, with 500 more set to benefit in the current cohort. Who have further explained that IBOM-led actively monitors and evaluates businesses after training to ensure long-term sustainability and impact. Speaking about the formation of the Akwa Ibom Entrepreneurs Association, Uwa stated that the body will galvanize the state's business community and align with the governor's entrepreneurial vision. In their goodwill messages, Pastor Imo Basi Jacob, team lead of the IBOM-led and managing director of the Akwa Ibom Investment Corporation, Akiko, and Professor Enoy Demusoro, rector of DASIS, praised the transformation of the once neglected IBOM e-library into a vibrant hub for entrepreneurial training. They noted that the center is shaping modern business mindset and equipping participants to compete globally with support from an active alumni network. Meanwhile, Governor Noor, while inaugurating the association, expressed delight that the association is being led by the entrepreneurs and announced a 10 million naira support grant for the body. Government House correspondent Jen Uwa reported that the governor, however, challenged the association to register at least 10,000 business owners to enhance mentorship, promote entrepreneurship, and elevate the dignity of labor in Akwa Ibom State. In the meantime, the African Democratic Congress (ADC) and its coalition partners have officially unveiled the Akwa Ibom State ADC Coalition Chapter with the theme Reclaiming Democracy and Empowering the People. The event, which took place in New York, brought together party leaders, grassroots mobilizers, stakeholders and supporters across the state. Our correspondent Esther Toyo brings details.
Speaking at the unveiling, the state chairman, African Democratic Congress (ADC), emphasized that democracy in Akwa Ibom State and Nigeria must be reclaimed, renewed, and re-anchored in the will of the people. He noted that the party seeks to build a movement of inclusion, transparency, and accountability, where democracy is a right and responsibility of every citizen, with strong institutions, fair economy, and open opportunities to all.
Let me assure you today, ADC has come to stay. We are not here to complain. We are here to lead. That is why we have formed a coalition, an alliance of like-minded patriots, determined to rescue our state and our nation. Together, with our coalition leaders and partners, we have prepared clear roadmaps to usher in government that is correct, acceptable, and people-oriented. Every kobo of public funds, our money, will be used for the people. No more stolen billions. No more abandoned projects. ADC will invest in industries, technologies, agriculture, and skills acquisition to give young people opportunities.
The coalition leader of ADC, Akwa Ibom State, and former senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, as well as former Minister of State for FCT, John Akpan Udoyedege, encouraged stakeholders and supporters to jointly build a strong party with love and unity. Udoyedege also urged them to support each other and people saddled with responsibility to lead in different capacity in the party, setting aside differences and embracing love.
Love this party, love the person who is a member of this party. Come together. We will win with your support. We will win with your support. We have a lot of people coming to this party. Therefore, when we come together, there is a purpose of insecurity. That's number one purpose. There's the purpose of poverty. the purpose of a wide range of inequality and unemployment. That's why the coalition come together to tackle those things.
Representatives of the national leadership of ADC were present to lend their support, urging party faithful to work towards building a strong people-oriented movement in the state. They stressed that the coalition would focus on transparency, accountability, and inclusive governance, promising to empower communities through education, economic opportunities, and youth participation.
We are expecting to see a united front. United in the sense that it's not just all about ADC. We are saying the people versus APC-led government. That's what you're going to see. The people are tired of poverty. The people are tired of unemployment. The people are tired of bad governance. So we're giving them a platform where everybody is carried along.
ADC is the party of the people. Like if we start from looking at the logo of ADC, you see you have parties in Nigeria that are represented by an umbrella. An umbrella is the man-made thing. Your party represented by broom, so you need to get a broom to show as the symbol of the party. You need to get an umbrella to show as the symbol of the party. You need to get a cockerel to show as the symbol of the party. But in ADC, you don't need to buy anything. You need to stretch forth your hand to another person and you have agreement. That means we are naturally disposed to work together and get success. ADC is actually the party of the people.
The coalition is mostly a call for everyone to come together, put in their synergy. So I'm reaching out to every woman from any walk of life to be able to come together. Let us work for the change. In ADC, we are telling you, come in and let us put our foot together. Our voices matter, especially when women stand to put a choice on something. Let's also make sure that we, through that joint force, we'll be able to bring in a good leader that will have empathy for especially women and our children.
Do well to mobilize in your unit, mobilize in your ward, talk to the people about ADC. This is the new way to go, and this is not the old order.
The ceremony had in attendance the National Vice Chairman Diaspora South-South Augustine Ekanam, Assistant National Organizing Secretary South-South Dr. Ben Smith, the 2023 governorship candidate Labour Party Akwa Ibom State Dr. Udwarobong Udo, and the 2023 governorship candidate of Action Alliance Akwa Ibom State Jerry Akpan, among other dignitaries. High point of the event was the symbolic hoisting of the ADC and coalition flag, signifying the official commencement of the party's activities in Akwa Ibom State. Esther Otoyo, Spectrum News.
We move now to Africa, where Malawis are currently voting in presidential and parliamentary elections, following a turbulent 5 years that has seen the economic crisis worsening in the southern African nation. President Lazarus Jakara is vying for a second term, contesting after his Peter Mutharika, an octogenarian who has previously been in office. Reports say campaigning has been overshadowed in the cities by fuel shortages, which have led to long, frustrating queues at petrol stations. The rising cost of living has also been a major concern of voters. A presidential runoff will be held if no candidate gets more than 50% of votes cast in today's election. Let's move now to the foreign scene, where a United Nations Commission of Inquiry says Israel has committed genocide against Palestinians in Gaza. Reports say there are reasonable grounds to conclude that 4 of the international law have been carried out in war with Hamas in 2023, killing members of a group, causing them serious bodily and mental harm, deliberately inflicting conditions calculated to destroy the group, and preventing birth. It cites statements by Israeli leaders and a pattern of conduct by Israeli forces as evidence of genocidal intent. Meanwhile, Israel's foreign ministry said it categorically rejected the report, denouncing it as distorted and false. Still to come in the news. FIFA releases calendar for 2026, cancels October international break. Stay tuned for details of this in just a moment. Many thanks for staying tuned. We move now to a business scene where the federal government has suspended the implementation of the 4% free on board levy recently introduced by the Nigerian Customs Service on all imported goods. The decision, announced by the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, followed widespread concerns from importers, trade experts and other industry stakeholders about the letter addressed to the Comptroller General of Customs, Edun, acting in his capacity as chairman of the NCS board, ordered the immediate suspension of the levy. The letter, signed by the Permanent Secretary for Special Duties in the Ministry of Finance, Raymond Omachi, explains that the extensive consultation had been held with stakeholders and experts whose feedback showed that the levy would place a significant strain on trade and the economy. On a health news, cardiologists have warned that Nigeria and Africa are facing a growing epidemic of cardiovascular diseases, with new data showing that about 4 in 10 Nigerian adults are hypertensive. They stress that Africa has the fast rising rate of cardiovascular diseases in the world, citing lifestyle changes, rising obesity, poor exercise habits and weak public health systems as factors fueling the crisis. The warning comes ahead of the Nigerian Cardio Society's 54th Annual General Meeting and Scientific Conference in Abuja. The expert who described cardiovascular diseases in Nigeria as alarming stressed that urgent action is needed to prevent the growing burden. We move now to sports, where FIFA has announced that there will be no international break in October 2026. The World Football Governing Body listened to complaints from clubs about disruption caused by frequent breaks in the first half of the season and will now make changes to the international match calendar for the 2026 to 2027 season. However, the third international break in November will remain, with 2 more matches scheduled between November 9 and 17. These changes will affect the new Champions League calendar, which will now kick off between September 8 and the 10th. Last on the news at this hour, Guinness World Records has officially recognized Hilda Bassi's achievement for the largest serving of Nigerian-style jollof rice, weighing 8,780 kilograms. In a post shared on its official X account, Guinness World Records announced a new record. Recall that Hilda Bassi had in 2023 first set the Guinness World Record for the longest cooking marathon. And that's all we have for you at this time. To ensure to follow us on social media, subscribe to our YouTube channel, all of which you can find on our website at spectrumtvlive.ng. I am Emidian James and you've been watching Spectrum News at 10. Do enjoy the rest of your day. Bye for now.